Good afternoon. The purpose of the video this afternoon is to show you around the material analysis report. I've been asked a question today on how we might grab some data from RFMS to see how many metres of carpet laying and vinyl laying, etc. we've done. So I'll use that as a teaching method for the material analysis report this afternoon. You'll find the material analysis report by going to Sales Reports here and then up to File, Material Analysis and Orders, and then you'll be returned with this screen here. Now the material analysis report pulls the data line by line from your orders and order entry based on the criteria to limit the orders that you have, and we'll discuss here. The first group up here is based on the sort order. So when we do pull the material or the data from RFMS, how would we like it sorted? There are a good number of options, as you can see, and most of them are self-explanatory. Perhaps other than this one here, PC standing for product codes. Here's a list of your product codes down here. Okay, so it's going to sort it by product category, as we like to refer to it in Australasia, and then by quantity. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to choose supplier and style. The next question we have to answer is all about the line statuses. What line statuses are we interested in pulling through from order entry? I've ticked everything, and that means no matter what the status is on the lines in the orders, it's going to pull through to the report. If you were only interested in looking at job costed sales, those that have been posted to your P&L, then you will uncheck all of those boxes and just leave your job costed line status checkbox ticked. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to do everything. Next, we're going to have a look at the framing parameter tab, which is all of this data in here. Okay, product categories here. So we can have them, it comes as automatically that they're all included. But if you don't need all the product categories, you can actually untag all of them. And this R here stands for roles, and it will automatically tag the roles, product categories 1 and 2. If you check the items, I for items, it's going to grab all of your item categories. Leave behind any services and your roles. And S is for services, so it's going to ignore all of your roles and your items and just automatically tag out everything that is a service. For the purposes of this demonstration though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do services only, and I'm going to just come down here and I will tag timber installation, carpet installation and tile installation and ceramics, because I'm wanting to work out the meters that I've installed over the last little while. So that's what I'm going to tag. Your salespeople come automatically tagged. You can untag them and just pick them randomly if you want, or this is a multiple tag, will include everything. Customer types is your customer types. You might be interested in just having a look at your residential and your real estate together, but I'm going to include everything. All right, so it depends on the data that you're wanting to pull out. Stores can come combined or not combined. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to do combined. And of course, if you were wanting to analyze the data based on your fibers, you can do that as well. Before I come down and talk about this, I'd like to show you the More Parameters tab. And when if you haven't used material analysis before, it always pays to come in here and check and make sure you've included all of the options you want in the back end of the tab, because if these aren't checked, then the report won't print. And for those of you that run ERRM databases, we can base it based on the delivery ticket date, print dates, if required. All right, so I'm going to come back to framing parameters now. And I'm going to use the date range for the order creation. So I'm going to do it from the first 20 up to today. is the date range. So what this is going to do now is going to go into order entry, pull up all the orders that have an order date of the 1st of January up to and including the 23rd of June, or the line details that appear for these service codes only. Now I'm going to click Print Preview. It's going to show me the cost and the profit as well as the sales. And I've extended my cost basis out here to define my freight and any overhead loads that I might have. I'm also going to take it out to Excel because there's more data that shows in your Excel format than it does that can fit on a printed page. So I'm going to hit the print button for now. It's going away to pull the data in. I'll just make that larger so you can see it. And here we've got all the data that I've that's fitted my criteria. Okay, so I've got install carpet, I've got laying carpet tiles, I've got new smooth edge, I've got laying vinyl 2 meter wide, and these are all of the orders that has some of that on it. I think all of the headers up here are self-explanatory. The quantity is the units sold. So for install carpet, it's 100 units. I've summed all together my vinyl 2 meter wide and I've laid 1,059.2 meters of 2 meter wide vinyl. My total cost is the total cost to get the job done, installed for that particular item. And my line total is the sales total exclusive of GST. All right, and my profit is my GP. So that's what prints to the report, and it sums it up, in my case, by the description, what it is. So here's welding labour, for example. Now, you don't want to print this to straight to your printer. It prints on US legal size paper. It's an imperial size. We don't have an equivalent, and so I'd recommend that you save it as a PDF before you print it. Saving it to a PDF will resize it to A4, and while the print is small, it will be still readable. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to come and show you what comes to Excel. So here's the report here, and I'll open up an Excel. And we have a lot of columns. It starts with A, and it goes all the way out to a Z or BZ. Here we go out here. And we'll just go through and have a look at those columns and make sure that you understand. There is a lot more data that comes through to Excel. And if you're using this report, because it is a big report, it becomes more useful if you can manipulate the data in Excel. So here we've got stores as combined because I checked the combined button back in RFMS. That's the button here. All right, because I didn't need to have the data separate by store. If you run stores as departments, then you might want to have stores come through. That's not useful to me in this demonstration, so I'm going to delete that. The telephone number is not useful to me, and nor is this here. So I'm going to delete those off. So this is the line number on this order where this particular detail shows. All right, so I'm going to delete that for now. I'm going to keep my status for now. Product category, okay. The product category, the item number, the style, which is all the things that we've done. We've got no colors because it's a service, so I'm going to delete that. And I'm not particularly interested in these three columns. Delivery date, DEL date or delivery date is your job cost date. Width and length, not important because I'm looking at services, so I'll get rid of those as well. Out to the right here, let me just widen those columns for us. It doesn't have a manufacturer, so I'll get rid of that. It's all of mine, so I'll get rid of the salesperson and these empty columns as well. Your job type is your customer type on the order, just so that you know. Your member number is your customer number. Not really required here, so I'm going to get rid of those two things there. Your ship to name might be useful because it might describe the project rather than the customer name, so I tend to keep that myself, but these here don't look like they'd be much good to me, so I'm going to delete those. Your group description is your billing group name. Okay, so I'm not interested in that this time round, and this doesn't have any data, so I'm going to delete those columns. Add source, order type, service type, contract type. If they were being used, you may choose to use them or not, but there is no data in there, so I shall delete that. For the purpose of this demonstration, I don't count these as important, so I'm going to delete those. The line group is the line group in the order. Okay, so it's not useful to me now, so I'm going to delete that. The ID number, I'll leave where that is. They're all 0. We have no product sets, so we'll get rid of all of these empty columns here as well. Stock, we don't have any in there, I'll delete those. Now your primary invoice number here now, that's the primary invoice on your billing group. And your project number is the project number of a billing group. Not required for this demonstration, so I'll delete those. And I'll get rid of all of these columns as well. Now this is my unit of measure based on my quantity back here. So I normally cut that and reinsert it over here so it's close to my quantity, and that makes it more useful to me. We have the inventory store, measure date and bin location all empty, so I'll delete those. The purchase order number is something that the customer supplies to you, so I normally cut that away and pop that in front of the invoice number so that that can be useful over there if I need it. INV date is the inventory date. So if we were looking at inventory, it would tell me the date that it was received into the warehouse. Empty for us, so I'm going to delete that. But here's a number that's quite a date that could be useful. Order invoice date. So this is the date that the order was invoiced. Now it's a bit back to front for us in Australasia. So how do we change that in Excel? I come up here to data, then I go to text to columns, fixed width, next, click the date and YMD. If we do that and press finish, it becomes a nice usable date for us. I'm going to go back and repeat that process for you here in column H, which is the order date. So remember, data, text to columns, fixed width, next, date, YMD, and again, we've got that looking rather nice. Now, something else that is very helpful when we've got all this data, because this is limited data here, but you probably have very lengthy data that goes for multiple rows, that you can come up to data and press the filter column. And once we've done that, we can, maybe you're looking at how the quantities sold. Look at that one there. So let's just highlight that so that we can make that useful to us. And let's click here to make it a whole units for us. Okay, so if we were to sum that now, the sum of all of those quantities comes to 259610. But what if we wanted to know, well, what was the quantity for laying 2 metre wide vinyl? Now that we've got the filter button on, we can click on the down arrow, unselect everything, come down here and just say, let's see what we did for vinyl laying. So this is sheet vinyl, and say OK, and it makes everything else disappear. And we can come up here and we can total it up again for us. So that's how much sheet vinyl we laid. You might say, okay, well, what did I do for carpet laying? So we can uncheck that and we can just do install carpet. So let's just do install carpet and we can sum that as well. Okay. Now, if we get this on the right line, we can actually automatically show how it can resum. So I'll just do that for you. So we'll get rid of that one there and we'll come up to here. Let's have a look at install carpet again. All right, and we'll go format this. That's not going to automatically do it for us. So let me just open that back up again for us. I was doing this for a client this morning and it seemed to make it easier. So there's your total. So we'll get rid of that there. And we'll come back down here to vinyl laying and do that again. That's it. You'll notice that it's a different formula. It's a subtotal formula with open brackets 9, comma, I2 being the first row after your header and I34 being the last before your sum. We'll press enter. Okay. Now if we come back here and have a look at our install carpet, and it sums it for us again. So it still keeps the same formula. Or what if we were to do wet floor shower? We've got 6, keeps the total. So you can see how easy it is by using your filters, how you can get the information you'll want in RFMS, in CSV format, and the amount of columns that you've got there to look at. You could filter on any number of things that you wanted. So here I am back here doing this. We can do the same formula on the total cost, and we could copy that cost into our line total being sales exclusive of GST. Let's just highlight that and make those dollars so that we know what they are. And when we go and play again, and we're just doing carpet laying carpet tiles, we know that it sums up. So 78 squares, total cost of that we paid was $507. We sold it for $601.61. Okay, so you can sub on any of those. You might want to say, oh, look, I think I might have all of this, but I just wanted to know what a particular customer had. So let's just go for Naylor Love, and it's going to give us the detail of what it is with Naylor Love. It might be that you say, no, I want all customers, but I only want job costed statuses, and there it will filter out everything else that you've got there. So I hope this has been helpful to you. That is the material analysis report. How do we find it again? Sales reports, file, material analysis, orders. Now you might have repeatable, just before I go, you might have repeatable reports that you do on a regular basis. You want to have a look at what I've done today and you want to do it again next month and update it. Don't forget that you can use your save your filter options to here, and you might say in here split by, and you can have another name. All right, what it's going to do, it's going to save all of these filters, that options that you've ticked. So it's going to save this, it's going to save your line statuses, it's going to save whatever it is that you've created, and so that you don't have to keep remembering that all of the time. All right, and the date option, it's seeing and looking, oh, look, you wanted it from the 1st of the year through to today's date. So when you rock up tomorrow to modify it, it's going to go from the 1st of the year to today's date, which is the 24th for tomorrow. When you exit here and you come back into material analysis orders, you don't have to come in here and think about what your filters are. All you've got to do is click the load, and here you've got a whole bunch of stuff of your save filters that you can think of. So here was the one that I did just today in the demonstration. I click on that there and it goes away and it finds all of the, clicks all the buttons that I already clicked and saved. So that is your material analysis for this time. If you think that you've got application or material analysis could be helpful for you and you need some help getting started, by all means ring the RFMS team on the 1-800 or 800 numbers. You have a good day.